So you've probably talked to an AI, right? Maybe you asked a chatbot for help or used the voice assistant to set an alarm. It's pretty cool stuff. But what if AI could do more than just talk? What if it could actually act on your behalf? Well, that's the world of AI agents, and believe me, they're about to change just about everything. I mean, we're all pretty familiar with AI that can handle a conversation. Large language models, or LLMs, have become absolute wizards with words. They can write, they can code, they can summarize, but that's really just the opening act. Because the real quantum leap, the next big thing in AI, isn't about having a better chat, it's about taking action. Just imagine giving an AI a big, complicated goal, and then it just figures it out, all on its own. That right there is the promise of autonomous AI. Okay, so to really get our heads around this shift, we need to be super clear on the difference between the AI we're used to and this new wave of AI agents. Let's break down the landscape. This table lays it out perfectly. Think of it like a spectrum. On one end, you have your chatbots. They're fantastic for simple, scripted conversations. In the middle, you've got AI assistants. They can handle a few basic tasks for you. But way over on the other end, that's where you find AI agents. These are the real game changers. They aren't just reacting to you, they're proactive. You don't ask an agent a simple question, you give it a whole project to run with. So, what's the secret sauce here? What gives an AI agent all this power? Well, it really boils down to four fundamental pillars, or as I like to call them, their superpowers. And here they are: autonomy, reasoning and planning, tool use, and memory and learning. When you put these four things together, you get a system that can think for itself, act on its thoughts, and even learn from what it does. Let's dive into each one. First up, autonomy. This is the big one. It's the agent's power to be independent. You don't give it a step-by-step to-do list, you give it a mission. Think of it like this. It's the difference between telling a self-driving car every single turn to make versus just telling it your destination and letting it figure out the route. Now, if autonomy is the destination, reasoning and planning is the GPS that builds the route. It's the agent's brain, its ability to think strategically. So if you say, plan a trip to Paris, it doesn't just book the first flight it sees. No, it breaks that big goal down into smaller steps. Find the best flight deals, research hotels in the right neighborhood, maybe even build an itinerary. That's planning. An LLM by itself is kind of like a brain in a jar. It knows a ton of stuff, but it can't actually do anything in the real world. Tool use is what gives that brain hands and feet. It lets the agent connect to the outside world, using tools like a web search, booking websites through their APIs, or even controlling smart home devices. And finally, we have memory and learning. This is what makes an agent get smarter over time. It can remember what it's doing right now, learn from its past successes and failures, and constantly improve. It's not a one-trick pony. It's an evolving system that gets better with every task. Okay, so we know what an agent is made of, but how does it actually, think? Let's take a quick peek under the hood at a really simple but brilliant framework that powers a lot of this. It's called React. The React framework is just a simple, powerful loop. Thought, action, observation, and then it repeats. Honestly, it's a lot like how we learn things, isn't it? We think about what we need to do, we go do it, and then we look at what happened. The agent does the exact same thing, just thousands of times faster. Let's walk through a super simple example. You ask the agent for the weather. Its first thought is basically a little internal monologue. Okay, the user wants the weather in San Francisco. I don't know that offhand. I'll need to use a search tool to find it. See, it's already forming a plan. And that thought immediately leads to an action. The agent decides which tool to use, the search tool, and then gives it a very specific command. It's not just thinking anymore, it's doing. Then comes the observation. The tool runs, and the result comes back to the agent. The weather in San Francisco is 65 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Now the agent has new information. The loop is complete, and it's ready for its next thought, which is probably something like, great, I have the answer. Now I'll give it to the user. All right, enough with the theory. Let's see what this looks like in the real world. We're going to imagine a content crew made up of a few different AI agents, all working together to create and promote a blog post from start to finish. First up is the SEO analyst agent. You can think of this one as the team's strategist. Its whole mission is to create a killer content plan. So it uses its tools like search and SEO APIs to research keywords, check out the competition, and then it produces a detailed brief. That brief then gets handed off to the content writer agent. This is the creative genius of the crew. It takes the plan, makes sure the article matches the company's unique style and voice, and then it just writes the whole thing. A perfectly optimized article ready to go. And finally, the distribution agent steps up to the plate. It takes that finished article, publishes it directly to the company's blog, and then immediately starts promoting it across social media. The entire workflow, from a vague idea to a published, promoted article, is done, all without a human ever lifting a finger. This is where we're headed, and it is incredibly exciting. But this much power also brings some really big challenges and responsibilities. So let's talk about the hurdles and the crucial questions we have to start thinking about right now. Yeah, the road to a future full of AI agents isn't perfectly smooth. We need to make them more reliable and predictable. We have to stop them from hallucinating or just making stuff up. We absolutely have to make sure they're secure from bad actors. And, we have to figure out how to do all of this without it being incredibly slow and expensive. But honestly, the biggest challenges might not even be technical. They're ethical. If these systems are going to operate on their own, we have to fight bias in their training data. We need transparency. We have to be able to look inside and understand why an agent made a particular decision. And all of that leads to the biggest question of them all, accountability. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. When a truly autonomous system makes a mistake, and it will, that causes real harm in the world, who's responsible? Is it the developer who coded it? The user who gave it the goal? The company that owns the platform? There are no easy answers here, and these are the incredibly complex questions we all need to start grappling with as we build this new agentic future.